I did. For a day or so at least. It took only that long for Danny to decide to go with him back to Rocky Bay. Yet he happened solely to run away in the first place just because he heard a dog's voice. I told her everything Father had told me about the birdman and she listened, but I could see she didn't really believe any of it. She said she had heard something about the father thing, and that it didn't matter anyway because we weren't going to like Father was a kid. We were only going to Rocky Bay, and Birdman maybe a bit loony. So who did that? He just wanted to make friends, that was all. Why else would he give us that our boat? Why else would he needed metaphors in him? We didn't have to go anywhere with him, did we? Perhaps I agreed to go with Daddy because I had agreed with his argument. Or perhaps I was crazy. When I crawled up over Samson too with Daddy, that next day I sat on the covers in the house here until I was sure the birdman was not down there on Rocky Bay waiting for us. The birdman was not waiting for us, but something else was. Lying aside in the sand is almost the same spot we had found our boat the day before was a bird, a crow. A bird we thought it had been washed up dead, but it lay amongst the flock sand at the high water mark. As we approached it, I could see it was more even for a young bird, and that feathers were not early back as they should have been. I thought it must have been slow off the rock before it could fly. Suddenly, Danny caught my arm and pointed further along the beach. A trail of footprints led right to where the crewmen made their way again. At the moment, I was half honored and never I had been before. The distant Chinese was turned on my arm and he led me forward. In the center of the colony, we came out in orange stripes with the letter I now expected to find. 3W. It was not until we were down on our knees in the sand beside it that I realized the glowing feathers were not skirted by a breeze as they ought to have been. That it was inside made of steel. Then I noticed the fact. Only a few feet away from shells along the sidewalk had been rearranged to reach. Day and play was each as much as mine. We scanned the dunes about us for any sign of the black silhouette among the reeds, but all we could see of the birdman were his boots and still lighted over his head of his cottage watching us. Thin wisps of smoke rose from the chimney pot at the end of the cottage, only to be whipped away at once and dissipated by the wind. Daniel reached out and picked up the cornet. The base of it was carved out as a rock, covered with limpet and barnacles, and the cormorant stood on his great webbed feet, head slightly smeared, almost indifferent. He was leaning forward as if balancing himself against the wind. All his feathers were so fine crushed that I expected them to be soft to the touch. Then he set the bird down in the wet sand, facing out over the water to sunset and sat back on his ankle. You ever seen anything like this? He said, stroking the crown of the bird's head. It looked as if he could lift up a flag. Do you think the birdman watching us? I whispered. That's so. Don't mind if he is. Look at this, crazy. Some man who makes this isn't a madman. He just can't be. And he gave us that our boat with him. It's what I told you, Gracie. He's trying to make friends with us. If you like to with me, I'm going to stay and sail our boat. Gracie just likes to chat with me. And what's more, I'm going to say thank you to him. So I'm not going anywhere near that cottage. I said, telling his coat was here at the very time. Not even really with you. You don't need to, Gracie. He said, look. And he wrote it himself beside the bird. There. Danny and Grace. No. I said it as soon as I saw my name in the head. You can't. You know who we are if you do that. He'll come after us and put his curse on us. And I lifted my foot and kicked the sand over Danny's bracket until I up to exaggerated as we laughed like that. I was crying inside of myself. Father says he would sell some people. We mustn't talk to him. We are not supposed to. Daniel looked up at me, and I could see from the look in his eyes that he was disappointed with me. But we are not going to talk to him, are we? He said. Look, Gracie, he stands to reason. If the Birdman had wanted to put a spell on those creatures and stand it around, couldn't he? Yes, he could, couldn't he? I will not answer him because I hated to be wrong, and I knew well enough that I was. In my shame and fury, I shifted the corner over on the side and ran off the roof to wash down the floor. Then you called it underneath to calm. And all my rage around illuminated to see it first for me. If you're so brave, then it's not like I scream at him. Then you can sign with silly names, but I'm not coming here again. Never. You hear me? Never. You can keep a silly boat and a silly tournament for all I can. I don't want it, and I don't want effort. And I would think on to say every hurtful thing I could think of. I had not caught sight of Birdman stop floating purposely along the beach behind Daniel. His tongue blotting out of his mouth. I tried to call out to steady the water, but my thoughts did not sleep as I could, so I just pointed and ran back down over the sandy water. So paid us no attention, but went straight to where the cormorant lay and sniffed. Then a reindeer jaws with the caravan. He picked it up and came and sat heavily at our feet, looking very pleased with himself, his tail swishing the sand behind him. The dog paid no attention but went straight to the cormorant lay and sniffed it. Then, unraising his jaws with hair around it, he picked it up and came and sat tidily at our feet, looking very pleased with himself, his tail swishing the sand behind him. The dog seemed to have no eyes, for they were covered by a curtain of matted black ringlets. He's giving it to you. I said he wants you to take it. What is it? Then left the dog and took the cormorant out of his mouth. He said, you then did the Birdman said you, and the dog licked his lips and took the sand out of his mouth. Then he patted him and parted the hair over his face to reveal two shining black eyes. How can you see blood as long as that? And then the dog pricked out his ears, looked it up, and looked around towards the cottage. He stopped painting for a moment at least, before he knew that it was bounding away over the sand and had vanished into the dunes. Neither of us had heard a whistle, but neither of us had any dope at all except in close back. Because he was enough as that he must have seen Aloud after him. Daniel brushed the sand off the corner. See, I told you, Bertie. Didn't I? You just want to be friends. That's all. And he dropped it quickly to the sand. Come on. We've got to be friends, haven't we? We never spoke a word after that, but moved it in the sand together and tore out all the clouds we were going to see, and wrote it in orange. Thanks for the comment. And both of us signed our names in the shells underneath. We stayed all day selling our boats on rushy days, and even when Daniel suggested sea was getting too rough ice to sail, we stayed on. Myself. To him and to the Birdman, that I was no longer frightened. True, I did keep my eye on Healthy Hill, but now I was also hoping the Birdman would come down to the beach with his dog. He did not come, however, and my newfound courage was not put to the test, not yet anyway. As we left the beach, Danny crooked his hand to his mouth and called out, "Goodbye," in the direction of the cottage, and I waved with him because I felt sure that Birdman would be watching us. Back in Daniel's boat that evening, we stood by his workbench examining the cormorant closely. "One day, Gracie," he said, "one day, I'm going to be able to make something like that." "What happens if someone finds it?" I asked. "What are we going to say? Just how I made it," he said, laughing. "But they may not believe us, so better if they don't find it."
I haven't got a room on my own to hide and I haven't got anywhere to put anything. Not anywhere private anyway. You got a room on your own, Gracie. You keep it. It'll be safer with you. If Father finds it, he'll only want to know where it comes from and Big Tim will talk to me until I tell him. And he handed the coral mail carefully to me. I already knew where I would hide it. I would only worry about how I'm going to get it there without being discovered. I've been thinking, Gracie, Daniel said. He gave this a Kermit to show us he was friendly, didn't he? So he got to do the same, haven't we? We got to give something back so he knows we want to be friends as well. I've been thinking. Do you think he'll like if we made him one of our boats? Could we call her Woodcock, couldn't we? I said. We got to name it after a bird, like all the other are. Woodcock's this kind of bird, isn't it? Never seen one. Then said Daniel, but I think it is. So I went home that evening with Birdman's crowman stuffed inside my blouse. Mother paid me no attention as I came in. She was busy over the stove, and I reached the safety of my room without her seeing me. We'll build Woodcock together that spring, but it was nearly summer she was ready for launching. We had never taken so much trouble over a boat as we did with Woodcock. Nothing was ever right until it was perfect. We took over to Rushy Bay for trails and pushed her out towards Samson Island. She danced out over the waves, herself catching the wind and leaning her over so that she sped out of sea. I think she might have gone all the way to Samson had we not waited waist high into the sea after her and brought her back. She was quite magnificent with her shiny blue hull, her white stripe and her brick red sail. Daniel was satisfied, so we left her, beached well above the high water mark, and we left to a long shell message for the Birdman to said. It read, "We named this boat Woodcock. May God bless her and all who sail her." And we signed it, Daniel and Grace. We waited until the sundown in the purple humming heifer on Samson Hill to see if the Birdman would come for it, but he never came. We could not stay any longer for Mother always liked me to be home before dark. But first thing, the next morning we went back to Rushy Bay and found the boat's gone. In its place there was this message, "Thanks, beautiful," and underneath, Zachara Woodcock. The end of chapter